Hi guys, in this video I'll be running through the Keystart calculator, which looks like this, running through to plug in the required information so that we can work out how much the client can borrow, which is indicated by this maximum loan amount here. So the very first thing that you need to make sure you check is that you're using the latest calculator. The latest calculator can be found on Smartsheet, the sales dashboard. If you don't have access to that, please see Sales Management to get a copy of the Keystart calculator. Let's just assume that for this particular example here, we've got a single applicant earning $65,000 and I've got debts of approximately $10,000, paying $110 per month in repayments. Okay, so this is how we go in and enter that information. So we have a single applicant earning 65,000. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. So you can see that that's indicated by the gross wages salary here. And they have debts of $10,000, paying $110 per month. So you can see based on that, the client can borrow approximately $336,400. And that's how you basically work out how much they can borrow. Now, let's run through a couple of other scenarios. So let's say that this was a couple. So obviously you change that from here to one couple. Let's say that they have two dependents, which is indicated here. Now, if they have dependents, you need to put the ages of the dependents here. So let's say they have a 10-year-old and also a 12-year-old. As you can see, with that information, it populates how much family tax benefits they should be getting, so family tax A and B, and that's based on how much income each applicant is earning. Okay, so let's just assume that applicant 1 is earning 65,000, the other applicant, let's say, is earning 25,000 annual income, and that's with, let's say that the debts, they've got another car loan of 25,000. And they've got the repayments on that is $300 per month. So you can see they can borrow $342,000. Now, a few things to look out for. If obviously Keystart needs a debt to income ratio to be less than 5.3, less than 10%. Okay, so we can see with the debt to income ratio for these clients, is sitting around about 5.3. Majority of the cases, this is actually more than 10%. So, we may actually look at, the personal loan. Let's say the client is paying $500 a month, and the car loan, let's say they're paying $500 a month as well. So as you can see, the debt to income ratio is 12.8%, and then the maximum loan amount here, you can see they can only borrow $260,000. Now, you need to basically have discussions with the client to ensure, we address that. And how we address that is we basically consolidate all their loans and stretch the loan term. So a couple of other things that you need to take into consideration. So let's say the ages of the client. So let's say that this client was born, I'm just using hypothetical sort of numbers here, 0101 2000, 19, let's say 1955. You can see that's going to be reflected down here. The client is 64 years of age. Let's say that the other client, so the partner is, sort of born in 1985. The age of the partner is 34, so massive gap. But that's okay. What I want to show you is, how Keystart assess it. So let's say that they could borrow $260,000 with that. What you do is to see if they qualify, because obviously Keystart, as you get closer to retirement being at sort of 65, there's a lot of risks that they take on. So they want to reduce that risk. So what they look at is, okay, so in this particular example, let's say that they basically can borrow $260,000. We put the loan amount here. You can see that the oldest will have a balance of sort of 44.9, at age 65, which is, sort of not Keystart is not happy. That needs to be less than 40%. Okay, so let's say that the client actually had a super balance of $50,000. Then you can see that that's reduced below 40%, and that makes it a viable option for the client. Now, a couple of other things that you need to take into consideration. If the client, with Keystart, if the client is earning overtime of, let's say, $30,000, you put that in here, you annualize that, you can see that it only treats that 30%. Keystart, with any overtime, Keystart treats that 30%, and that's where you include the income in there. Now, with regards to casual, if it's casual employment, Keystart only assess at 92%, so that's the field for casual employment income. And also take into consideration if they're getting any sort of Austudy, if they're paying any, or if they're receiving any sort of child maintenance, you put that in here. Now, if they're paying child maintenance, then you need to put that figure here. And then you also need to ask the question whether or not they have HECS. So it's very important that when you're sitting down and running through this Keystart calculator with your clients, that you ask all the relevant questions to ensure that this calculator is completed in full, so that you can work out the most accurate borrowing capacity with the client.